Bill Belichick, his start as the head coach of the UNC Tar Heels couldn't have probably gone any worse. Because after opening in a beautiful drive, a gorgeous drive, 7-0.
The crowd was like in euphoria.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to the national championship.
Michael
after
Jordan
the first,
was there. Lawrence Taylor was there. Randy Moss was there. Everybody was there. Then they go 41 unanswered points defensively.
Terrible.
They go basically, I think, 6 straight drives without a completion. It was bad. So my question to you is, do you think that this loss, it's only week one, but do you think that this blowout loss to TCU is something or nothing for Bill Belichick?
I think it is something. I think the optics mean a lot here. I mean, you look at him over on the sideline, he's old. And I'm a big fan of his. I'm old. So, I like to see him win. And he wants his son to succeed him there. I mean, his son looked like a deer in the headlights over there on the sidelines opened up the second half with the first play of the second half. TCU goes 75 yards on a running play for a touchdown. I mean, he looked like he was in shock, and so was Bella, and so was his father. So, I think they're lucky this happened the first game and a non-conference game. TCU's a good team. I mean, they won 6 of their last 7 games last year. They bring back a lot of players. Their quarterback looked like an NFL pro quarterback out there last night. He had 27 of 36, 284 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception, and that interception was like a ball that was tipped way up in the air. So it wasn't his fault. There was hardly any pressure on him too, and that's one thing I noted about a Bill Belichick's defense. You don't get any pressure on the quarterback. Come on, this is college now. Can't you do that? I was like, here we go again. There's no pressure on the quarterback. I was like, come on, In the running game, they didn't even stop that. I mean, generally, Bill Belichick's really good against the run. This Barnes guy, 11 carries, 113 yards, 10 yards a carry. He had a TD. His backup, seven carries for 61 yards, almost 9 yards a carry. And then the receivers, Dwyer, he had 9 catches for 136 yards, a TD. And Rodgers, 5 for 43 and a TD. I mean, come on, Bill. I expected the game to be, I didn't expect the offense to be great. Generally your offenses haven't been that great in the last few years. You got Freddie Kitchens as your OC, but I did think that the defense would keep him in the game, and it looked like they were going to, midway through the second quarter, getting near the end of the second quarter, they intercepted that pass that stopped one of TCU's drives. But then Gio Lopez there, he throws a ball right out there for the guy for a pick six. Then I thought, it's going the wrong way. And you look at North Carolina's stats. Why didn't they start Johnson? I mean, he was 9 of 11, 103 yards on a TD when he got in there. Lopez 4 of 10, 69 yards, interception for a pick six, and he didn't complete a pass for 2 hours out there. I was like, it's amazing. And they couldn't run the ball either. Hood had 10 for 31 yards. Hall had 6 for 22. The receivers, Shippers looks like a pretty good receiver. He had 4 for 84, and Green 3 for 57. But I think, they better get it together here because they're, every team is pumped to play against Bill Belichick. And the TCU coach and one of the players said, we felt disrespected coming into this game. Thought we were going to, it's Bill Belichick. He's going to find a way to beat us. And the first drive, it looked like maybe he was going to. But after that, as you said, 41 unanswered points. You look at NC's schedule. They have Charlotte next week. They won that game last year, 38-20. Then they go to Richmond, who was 8-0 last year, 10-3 overall. UCF, they might win that game. UCF was 2-7 last year, 5-7 in the conference. Then they got to play Clemson. Come on. I mean, they got to look a lot better than they did last night to even be competitive with Clemson, who was 7-1 last year, 10-4 overall, who's a premier team who's out there competing against the likes of Alabama and some of the other really big teams that play for the national championship. They play California, who was terrible last year, 2-6. Virginia, and 6-7 overall. Virginia, they won that game last year, 41-14. So maybe they have a chance there. Syracuse, 5-3 last year, 10-3 in the conference. They're pretty decent. Stanford's terrible, 2-6 last year, 3-9 in the conference. Wake Forest, they won that game 31-24 last year. Duke, they lost 21-20, and NC State, they lost 35-30. So they got a tough schedule, and they looked horrible.
Well, yeah.
So I don't know. I think that, and the other thing I'd say, you ask, is this something or nothing? It's the first game of the season, so maybe it'll be forgotten. But there's a lot of young kids out there watching this game, thinking, their parents thinking, do we want our son to go play for Bill Belichick? He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. Has he totally lost it? And they're thinking about that. He may have a tough time recruiting. So he's got to get it fixed real fast here, if it's fixable.
Right.
And he turned over a lot. I mean, their team was pretty competitive last year. And they turned over all those players. They brought in 70 players. So they might have gotten ahead of themselves a little bit here. College ball's a lot different, and it proved last night that Bill Belichick hasn't figured it out yet.
The question is, will he ever? I think that's the interesting thing, because this seems more like a Cinderella story. He goes back to UNC, and he coaches his team, and he's back. To me, this is a bunch of nonsense. Bill Belichick, the entire part of Belichick's career has this big, beautiful, golden highlight over, these incredible records. But once you smudge it a little bit and say, okay, well, Tom Brady's gone, all of a sudden it's like, oh, fired from Cleveland.
He did make the playoffs in Cleveland.
Fired
beat
from
the
Cleveland.
Patriots.
Fired from Cleveland. Left the Jets. Despised the Jets.
He gave his resignation on the back of a napkin.
That's hilarious. And then you go, since Tom Brady, horrible record, could never figure it out. I think you may have 3 draft picks since 2021 that are still in the Patriots to this day. You could not figure out the offense. You tried and failed and failed and failed and failed. And then your draft picks ended up being Cole Strange in the first round, who people had him as a 5th-round prospect. You drafted kickers and punters early in the draft than what most people do in like the 5th round. And he ended up being Chad Ryland ended up being the worst kicker in his rookie year. And I believe he was a 4th or a 5th round pick. That was a Bill Belichick beauty. And all
I think
of a sudden,
he's still playing in the NFL, by
he
the
is.
way.
He plays for, I believe, plays for
the Cardinals.
The
Right?
Cardinals. Yeah. And now you go, and I think he's the most hyped coach this season. UNC was a top tier hyped coach, hyped team this year, just because you have Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest head coach of all time. Now all of a sudden he goes to North Carolina. He's like, okay, what can he do in college? This is not good.
Oh,
this is the same thing with Russell Wilson. In my opinion, maybe slightly Aaron Rodgers. This maybe takes away some of Bill Belichick's sparkle. Because we look at it and there is this beautiful, gorgeous placard of Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the 6 Super Bowl rings. That's there. You can never take that away. But then if you just look around, okay, what else does Belichick have?
well, he has 300 wins in the NFL.
He does.
He
does with what, 230 of them coming with Tom Brady, 250 of them coming with Tom Brady, something like that.
He's going to go down as one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. For sure.
Maybe.
And
probably.
He is, Nate. There's no doubt about it. I mean,
I think that Andy Reid, if he wins one more, he has
won
an argument.
11 division titles in a row.
Well, the Chiefs are coming for that. That's the thing. The Chiefs are coming full steam ahead.
Even if the Chiefs beat it, there's still the Patriots have 11 division titles in a row.
Right.
I mean, they have some big records there.
Right.
And he was a great coach. The question is he really past his prime, and he really shouldn't be doing like this. He really shouldn't be doing this. He should have stayed in the booth, and he's interesting in the booth.
Yeah.
And as an analyst, so maybe he's probably thinking, should I have done that? Should I have stayed where I was? Now look at the mess I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in a mess.
Yeah.
I got to figure this out. I got my son here. I brought him from Washington.
Yeah.
And he was doing fine out there, and now he's with me. And we just gave up 48 points, the most in my career.
Correct.
Right?
And it's the most in UNC history as well.
The most in UNC history, yeah.
By the way, UNC was 3-0 against TCU in its school's history. This is their first loss ever, as well as the fewest points they've ever scored against TCU.
TCU is a good team, though. I think that they're a good team. They brought back that kid who's a quarterback. He looked great.
Josh
But,
Hoover.
he was back there with no pressure. He had very little pressure on him.
That's a Bill
He could look
Belichick classic.
around.
I always remember.
Actually, he missed a lot of open receivers too. There were some open receivers that he could have hit that would have been other additional touchdowns that they missed. So they got lucky on that it wasn't 60-14.
Maybe.
You know?
Well, if you take a look at it, Bill Belichick's defense led touchdown drives of 75, 85, and 76 yards. They got outgained 542 to 222. At one point, TCU nearly had 4 times the yardage of UNC.
There is no excuse for the defense giving up 48 points with the schemes and the coverages and maybe the kids just can't learn all that right off.
Maybe
the
it's
bat.
Belichick.
You know, here's a very complex defense.
Maybe
Maybe they just can't learn it all in the time that they've had. Maybe they will learn it eventually, and they'll be much better. But they're going up against Clemson, not too far down the road here.
Yeah.
You know, like 4 more games they're going to be playing against Clemson.
Well,
I just said that could be a disaster. They could give up like 70 points.
Well, I don't think people expected TCU to be a disaster. That's what I'm saying.
Well, the stadium was packed last night. Belichick ran out. Everyone cheered.
Yeah.
They had the big names there. Michael Jordan there.
Yep.
They had Randy Moss was there. They were all pumped for Belichick to win. And the other team said, we're feeling disrespected here. We're going to ram it right down your throat. And I think a lot of these other teams are going to feel the same way. It'll make it even harder for him. Yeah. So I feel bad. I love Bill Belichick. All that winning, when you had Brady, and he did draft Brady. Let's remember that.
That is the biggest thing.
That's his biggest thing. When nobody else wanted him, he did draft Brady, and they had all that success. And I was a fan of theirs. For many years, I'm spoiled by it, and I feel bad that this has happened to him. But he better find a way to fix it, because if he doesn't, he will have let his son down, number one, which would be the worst thing for a dad to do, and and he'll let down the program there. I gotta think he didn't sleep well last night.
Well, speaking about ram it down the throat, TCU had 208 more rushing yards than UNC had. They averaged 7.4 yards per carry.
Most of it on one play, a 75-yard run.
Well,
the guy was like, there wasn't anybody
250.
within 15 yards of the guy. He just went right down the sideline. He only carried the ball 11 times. Yeah. He killed him.
Absolutely. UNC, 1.8 yards a carry compared to 7.4 they gave up.
Yeah.
Belichick has and the sad thing is, in your case, because people are like, will an NFL team buy him out of his contract? That ain't happening.
Not anymore.
That is not happening.
No, that's the other thing. He's stuck there now.
Yeah. He's team is going to buy him out.
No one's going to buy him out.
Yeah.
He better, if he's thinking I'd like to be bought out at some point.
Ain't going to happen.
And, his buyout number goes way down here at the end of the year, I think.
I think post June 1st, it was $1 million. So it's $1 million.
Yeah, so $1 million. So it's not that much money, but nobody's going for that now with the way they played last night. He's got to find a way to get him back into a winning record and be a big winning record if he thinks he's going back to the NFL.
Yeah. Which 73 years old.
I don't know where he thinks he's going after last night. I think, going to a bar and maybe drinking heavily because, man, I can't believe he slept very well last night after that.
You know what's crazy? Belichick's quote post game, I have it here. He talked about tackling. It was much more than tackling. You started a quarterback who went 4
but the
of 10.
fundamentals, he's a fundamentals guy. Their fundamentals were awful last
what
night.
about completions? The starting quarterback threw it 10 times and, like you said, didn't complete a pass for 2 hours. Fundamentals, defense.
He got hurt, and then the other guy came in and was good.
Yeah.
They should have started him. I don't know why they didn't start him.
Maybe he'll be the starting quarterback moving forward.
I think there's a very good chance of that. He was there last year and played well.
Yeah, unbelievable. There's Bill Belichick for you. 2025 so far. He allows, it's crazy. 300 wins, several hundred games in the NFL. Highest points he ever gave up, I believe, was 47. One game in college, 48 points. Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching this clip of the Harvey Hour. If you want to watch the full show, you can by clicking the I in the top right-hand corner
right now. If you want to take the show with you on the go, it is available wherever you get your podcast. We go live here on YouTube every single Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a video and whenever we go live.